A soft blue light filled the circular chamber of the Galactic Council. 7 beings, each from a different world, sat around a floating table. They watched as a hologram of space spun slowly in the center. "We have detected an unusual energy." "Signature," said Shar, the eldest member. His skin glowed faintly purple as he pointed at a small dot in the hologram. "It comes from this unexplored area." Science Officer Zcatril stepped forward. Unlike the others with their smooth skin and tall bodies, Zcatril was short with rough, gray scales. "I will investigate this anomaly," he said. The council leader nodded. "Take a small ship. Do not engage if you find something dangerous." 3 days later, Zcatril's ship entered the unexplored sector. His sensors picked up a small object drifting through space. It was tiny, primitive, and made of simple metals. Skrull brought it aboard his ship. "Fascinating," he whispered. The object had writing on its side. "Voyager." Inside was a golden disk and simple machines. Skrull carefully examined the disk and found it contained sounds, images, and information about a planet called Earth and its people, humans. Back at the council chamber, Zcatril showed his findings. They call themselves humans. They appear to be at an early stage of development. Their technology is basic. They have only recently discovered space travel. Graal, the military advisor, laughed. "They sent this primitive object into space? They must be thousands of years behind us." "Perhaps," said Zcatril, "but something about them is interesting. Look at these images." He showed pictures of humans building cities, creating art, and fighting wars. "They seem highly adaptable and surprisingly resourceful." "Are they a threat?" asked another council member. "Not currently," replied Zcatril, "but they might become important in the future. I suggest we send a small team to watch them from a distance." The council agreed, though most members considered it a waste of resources. They saw humans as just another primitive species, not worth much attention. Meanwhile, on the blue planet Earth, in a building called NASA, 2 people stared at computer screens. John Carter ran his hand through his short brown hair. "Olivia, look at these readings. Something strange is happening near the edge of our solar system." Olivia Wright pushed her glasses up and leaned closer to the screen. "You're right. These energy patterns don't match anything we've seen before." John stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the night sky was filled with stars. "Do you think we're finally going to find proof we're not alone?" Olivia smiled. "Maybe, but whatever it is, it's hiding well." The signal disappeared as quickly as it appeared. "Should we tell Director Burton?" John asked. "Not yet. Let's gather more data first. You know how he is about false alarms?" John nodded and returned to his computer. He didn't know it, but he had detected Zcatril's ship as it left the solar system. 2 weeks later, Zcatril stood before the council again. "I have analyzed the Voyager data more thoroughly. These humans are unusual. Their planet has extreme conditions, varying temperatures, natural disasters, and many different environments. They have adapted to survive in all of them." "Many species adapt," said Shar, sounding bored. "Yes, but humans adapt quickly within a single lifetime. And look at this." Zcatril showed images of human history. They went from primitive flight to landing on their moon in just 66 years. "Their rate of development is remarkable," Growl frowned. "If they develop so quickly, they might become a problem." "Or a valuable ally," countered Zcatril. The council debated briefly before making a decision. "We will establish an observation post at the edge of their solar system," said the leader. "Commander Vexenar of the Drakari will lead the mission." Zcatril's scales darkened with concern. "The Drakari were known for their aggressive nature." "I request to join this mission," he said. "Denied. You are needed for other research. The Drakari are well suited for this task." Back on Earth, 6 months had passed. John and Olivia had detected several more unusual energy readings but couldn't explain them. Today, they were meeting with Director Burton. "We've recorded 7 unexplained energy spikes in the past 6 months, Olivia explained, showing charts on a screen. "All in the same region of space beyond Neptune. Director Burton, a tall man with a serious face, crossed his arms. Could it be a natural phenomenon? Unlikely, said John. The pattern is too regular, and the energy signature doesn't match anything in our database. What are you suggesting? Asked the director. John and Olivia exchanged glances. We think it might be artificial, John said. Possibly ... not from Earth. Director Burton sighed. That's a big claim. I'll need more evidence before we take this further. We want to redirect the New Horizons probe to investigate, said Olivia. It's the closest spacecraft to that region. Fine, but keep this quiet. No need to start rumors. As they left the meeting, John whispered to Olivia, He thinks we're crazy. Maybe we are, she replied. But what if we're right? In his quarters on the observation station, Commander Vexenar watched Earth through powerful telescopes. The Drakari commander had red skin and sharp teeth that showed when he smiled, and right now he was smiling. They're spreading, he said to his lieutenant. Look at these images. The screen showed human spacecraft around their moon and the red planet they called Mars. They've built a station on their moon and have settlements on Mars, said the lieutenant. They're expanding faster than predicted, Vexenar nodded. A council underestimates them. These humans are aggressive colonizers. Should we report this development? Yes, and recommend increasing our forces here. I don't trust these humans. They remind me of the Vraxian expansion before the last Great War. On Earth, a new space mission was being prepared. The first crewed mission to the outer solar system. The spaceship Pioneer was nearly ready for launch. Captain Alan Grant inspected the ship one last time. She's beautiful, he said to Engineer Samantha Miller. And fast, Samantha added. The new ion drive will get us to Jupiter in half the time of previous missions. Are you nervous? Alan asked. About going farther than any human has gone before? Nah, just another day at the office, she joked, but her eyes showed excitement. Little did they know, their mission would take them much farther than planned. Straight into the path of Commander Vexenar and the Drakari observation team. And in his laboratory on the Council homeworld, Z-Catrol continued to study the data from Voyager, becoming more convinced that humans were special. He didn't know yet how right he was, or how soon the Galactic Council would have to face the reality of humanity's arrival on the cosmic stage. 10 years passed quickly. Earth changed in that time. Humans built more colonies on Mars. They established a research base on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Space stations orbited Earth, the Moon, and Mars. Humanity was reaching farther into space than ever before. The Pioneer ship, with Captain Alan Grant and Engineer Samantha Miller, had completed 3 successful missions to the outer planets. Today they were starting their 4th mission, exploring beyond the known boundaries of the solar system. All systems ready, Captain, said Samantha, checking the control panels. Alan nodded. Let's make history again. Engage the drive. The Pioneer moved smoothly away from Earth's orbit. Its destination was the area where NASA had detected those strange energy signals years ago. From his observation post, Commander Vexenar watched the human ship with growing concern. In 10 years, he had seen humans expand rapidly. His reports to the Galactic Council became more urgent with each passing year. They're coming this way, Vexenar told his lieutenant. This ship is faster than their previous ones. Should we move our position? The lieutenant asked. No, we'll stay hidden. But prepare the capture team. If they get too close, we'll take them. Back on the Council homeworld, Z-Catrol had been promoted. He was now a Council representative. For years, he had studied humans through the data collected by the observation team. He found humans fascinating. During a Council meeting, Z-Catrol spoke up. The observation team reports that humans continue to advance quickly. I believe it's time we consider diplomatic contact. Graal, the military advisor, disagreed. Commander Vexenar reports that humans are aggressive colonizers. They consume resources at an alarming rate. We should contain them, not welcome them. We don't have enough information to make that judgment, argued Z-Catrol. We should meet them first. The Council was divided. Some wanted to make contact. Others feared the humans. They decided to wait and gather more information. On the Pioneer, Alan and Samantha were excited. Their instruments had detected something unusual ahead. "What do you think it is?" asked Samantha, looking at the readings. "I'm not sure," Alan replied. "It doesn't match any known object." "Let's get closer." They didn't know they were heading straight for Vexenar's hidden outpost. As they approached, their ship suddenly shuddered. Warning lights flashed across the control panels. "We're caught in some kind of energy field," Samantha shouted. "Engines aren't responding." Alan tried to steer away, but the ship wouldn't move. Send a distress signal back to Earth. Before they could act, a large ship appeared in front of them. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, sleek, dark, and much bigger than their vessel. "My God," whispered Alan, "we're not alone." The alien ship pulled them in. The last thing they saw before losing consciousness was a red-skinned being with sharp teeth staring at them through the view screen. They woke up in a small room with metal walls. There were no windows or visible doors. "Are you okay?" Alan asked, helping Samantha sit up. "I think so. Where are we?" "I'm guessing we're on their ship, and I don't think they invited us for dinner." A section of the wall suddenly disappeared, revealing an opening. 2 red-skinned aliens entered. Behind them was a taller being with smooth blue skin. The blue alien spoke, and somehow they understood. "I am Translator Zilks. You are now prisoners of the Galactic Council. You have trespassed into restricted space." Alan stepped forward. "We didn't know this area was restricted. We're explorers from Earth." "We know what you are, human," Zilks replied coldly. "You will answer our questions." For days, Alan and Samantha were separated and questioned. The aliens wanted to know about Earth's defenses, technologies, and plans for expansion. During one interrogation, Samantha grew frustrated. "We've told you everything. We're not a threat." Commander Vexenar, who had been watching silently, approached. Your kind spreads like a disease. You take planets, moons, and resources without concern for others. We've seen your history full of war and destruction." "That's not fair," Samantha argued. "Yes, we've made mistakes, but we learn from them. We explore space to understand it, not conquer it." Vexenar laughed. "No species explores without intention to claim." Meanwhile, in another room, Alan had managed to loosen a panel on the wall. While his guard was distracted, he peeked inside and saw strange technology. He didn't understand it, but his engineer's mind started forming ideas. Back on Earth, NASA realized something was wrong when the Pioneer stopped sending signals. Director Burton called an emergency meeting. "We've lost contact with the Pioneer," he told the room full of worried faces. Their last transmission showed an unidentified energy field. John Carter, now the head of NASA's Deep Space Division, spoke up. "We need to send a rescue mission." "With what?" asked someone. "The Pioneer is our most advanced ship." Olivia Wright, now leading the Advanced Propulsion Lab, stood up. "Not anymore. We've been testing a new drive system. It's faster than anything we've built before. How soon can it be ready?" Burton asked. 2 weeks, said Olivia. "Maybe less if we work around the clock." "Do it," ordered Burton, "and assemble a crew. We need our best people for this." On the Council homeworld, Zcatrol received troubling news. The Drakari have captured humans? Without authorization? He immediately requested an emergency council session. "Commander Vexenar has exceeded his authority," Zcatrol told the council. "Capturing these explorers could lead to conflict." "The commander was protecting our borders," argued Growl. "These humans didn't know about our borders," countered Zcatrol. "This is exactly why I've been advocating for diplomatic contact." After much debate, the council sent Zcatrol to the outpost to assess the situation. In their cell, Alan shared his observations with Samantha. "Their technology is advanced, but not as alien as you might expect. I think I understand how their door mechanisms work." "Can you open them?" Samantha asked hopefully. "Maybe, but then what? We're on an alien ship who knows where." "We have to try," said Samantha. "Earth needs to know what's out here." As they whispered plans. They didn't know that Earth was already preparing a rescue. Commander Lisa Jones had been chosen to lead the mission. The new ship, named Defender, was being prepared for launch. "We'll find them," Lisa promised Director Burton, "and we'll bring them home." Neither the humans nor the Galactic Council realized that this accidental first contact was about to change everything. The misunderstanding between species was growing larger, and time was running out to prevent a conflict that neither side truly wanted. The Defender ship moved silently through space. Commander Lisa Jones stood on the bridge, watching the stars. Behind her, tactical specialist Paul Martinez and xenobiologist Diana Kelly studied their monitors. "Any sign of the Pioneer?" Lisa asked. Paul shook his head. "Nothing yet. But we're following their last known path." "Their emergency beacon should be active," said Lisa, "unless something damaged it." Diana looked up from her station. "Or unless someone turned it off." The three exchanged worried glances. They had been briefed about the strange energy readings and the possibility that the Pioneer had encountered something or someone not from Earth. "Keep scanning," Lisa ordered. "If they're out here, we'll find them." On the alien outpost, Alan and Samantha continued planning their escape. Alan had figured out how to open their cell door by watching the guards and studying the wall panel he had loosened. "The guards change every 6 hours," he whispered to Samantha. "The next change is in 20 minutes. That's our chance." Samantha nodded. "And once we're out?" "I noticed a hangar when they brought us in. If we can reach it, maybe we can steal a small ship." "You think you can fly an alien spacecraft?" Samantha asked with a raised eyebrow. Alan smiled. "You're the engineer. I'm just the pilot." Meanwhile, Z-Catril had arrived at the outpost. Commander Vexinar was not happy to see him. "The Council sends a scientist to check on military matters?" Vexinar said, his sharp teeth showing as he frowned. "The Council is concerned about your actions," replied Z-Catril calmly. "Capturing humans was not part of your mission. They invaded our space." "They didn't know it was our space," countered Z-Catril. "I wish to speak with these humans." Vexinar reluctantly led Z-Catril to the detention area. When they arrived, alarms were blaring. "The prisoners are escaping," shouted a guard. Vexinar growled in anger. "Find them, now!" Alan and Samantha ran through unfamiliar corridors. They had managed to open their cell and slip past the guards, but now the entire outpost was on alert. "This way," Alan said, pulling Samantha around a corner. They ducked into a small room as guards ran past. "Look at this," whispered Samantha, pointing at a glowing console. The console showed images of Earth, Mars, and the human colonies. There were also images of the Galactic Council species and star maps Alan didn't recognize. "It's some kind of database," said Samantha. She touched the console and more images appeared. "We need to take this information back to Earth," Alan said. He looked around and found a small device that looked like a data storage unit. "Can you download it?" Samantha studied the alien technology for a moment, then nodded. "I think so." While Samantha worked, Alan kept watch at the door. In the distance, he could hear guards searching for them. On the Defender, Diana suddenly sat up straight. "Commander, I'm detecting an energy signature. It matches the readings from when the Pioneer disappeared." "Take us there, full speed," ordered Lisa. The Defender accelerated toward the coordinates. As they approached, a massive structure appeared ahead of them. "Is that a space station?" Paul asked in awe. Lisa narrowed her eyes. "It's an alien outpost. And I bet that's where Alan and Samantha are." "They'll detect us soon," warned Paul. Lisa thought quickly. "Shut down all non-essential systems, minimal power only. Let's get as close as we can before they notice us." The Defender crept forward, running dark. Inside the outpost, Samantha finished downloading the data. "Got it," she said, pocketing the storage device. "Good, now let's find that hangar," said Alan. They slipped out of the room and continued down the corridor. After several wrong turns and close calls with guards, they finally found the hangar. It was filled with small spacecraft of designs they had never seen before. "Which one should we take?" asked Samantha. Alan pointed to the smallest ship. "That 1. Easier to figure out and maybe harder to detect. As they moved toward the ship, a voice called out, "Humans!" They turned to see a short, gray-scaled alien approaching them. Unlike the red-skinned guards, this alien had no weapons and held up its hands in what seemed like a peaceful gesture. "I am Z-Catrol Council Representative," the alien said. "I mean you no harm?" Alan and Samantha exchanged glances. "Why should we trust you?" Alan asked. "Because I've been studying your species for years," replied Z-Catrol. "I believe the Council has misjudged humans. Commander Vexenar wants to treat you as enemies, but I disagree." Before they could respond, alarms blared again. A guard's voice came over a speaker system. "Unknown ship approaching. Security to battle stations?" Z-Catrol looked surprised. "More humans?" "Must be a rescue mission," said Samantha. "We need to warn them." Z-Catrol made a quick decision. "Take that ship," he said, pointing to one nearby. "I will help you escape." "Why would you help us?" Alan asked suspiciously. "Because war between our peoples would be a tragedy," said Z-Catrol. "Go now, before Vexenar arrives." On the Defender, Lisa watched as the alien outpost came to life. Lights flashed and small ships began to launch. "They've spotted us," said Paul. "Multiple vessels approaching." "Hail them," ordered Lisa. "All frequencies." Diana looked up from her console. "Commander, I'm detecting a small ship leaving the outpost. It's on an intercept course with us." "Weapons ready," said Lisa grimly. "Wait," Diana called out. "I'm receiving a transmission from that ship. It's in English." "Put it through," ordered Lisa. Alan's voice filled the bridge. "Defender, this is Captain Alan Grant. Samantha and I have escaped. We have critical information. Request immediate pickup." Lisa couldn't help but smile. "Copy that, Captain. We're on our way." But the reunion wouldn't be easy. Commander Vexenar, furious at the escape, ordered his ships to capture both human vessels. "Do not let them leave," he commanded. "The Council must see the human threat." As the alien ships closed in, the Defender moved to protect Alan and Samantha's smaller vessel. "They're targeting the captain's ship," reported Paul. "Defensive measures ready." Lisa stood tall. "Protect that ship at all costs. The captain and Samantha are coming home." On Earth, world leaders had gathered at the United Nations. Director Burton presented what little they knew about the situation. "We have reason to believe the Pioneer encountered an alien civilization," he told the shocked assembly. "The Defender was sent to investigate and has not reported back." A tall man stood up. "Director, we need to prepare for all possibilities." This was Frank Walsh, head of global security. "If these are first contact situations, we need a unified response. I propose creating a United Earth Defense Initiative." The room erupted in discussion. Some were afraid, others excited. None realized that at that very moment their representatives were fighting for their lives in distant space, and the information they carried would change humanity's place in the universe forever. Space lit up with energy beams as the Defender moved between the alien ships and the small vessel carrying Alan and Samantha. Commander Lisa Jones gripped her chair as the ship shook from a direct hit. "Shields holding at 60%, reported Paul Martinez. "Their weapons are powerful, but not as advanced as we expected." "Can we dock with the captain's ship?" Lisa asked. Diana Kelly shook her head. "Not with those fighters surrounding us." "We need to clear a path." Lisa made a quick decision. "Deploy countermeasures. Target their engines only. We want to disable, not destroy." The Defender fired precise shots at the pursuing alien vessels. 3 of them spun out of control, their engines disabled. Inside their stolen ship, Alan struggled with the unfamiliar controls. "I can't figure out their weapon system," he said. Samantha studied the alien console. "Look for patterns in the symbols. This one appears near what looks like an energy reading." Alan pressed the symbol, and a shield activated around their ship, just as another alien vessel fired at them. "Good guess," he said with a smile. On the main alien outpost, Commander Vexenar watched the battle with growing anger. "How are they evading our best pilots? They've never seen our technology before." Beside him, Z-Catrol observed quietly. He had returned to the command center after helping the humans escape, pretending he had tried to stop them. He watched with interest as the human ships adapted to the situation. "Perhaps this is why I've been advocating caution," Zcatril said. "Humans appear to be remarkably adaptable." "They're just lucky," growled Vexenar. He turned to his weapons officer. "Prepare the main cannon. We'll capture them all at once." Zcatril's scales darkened with worry. The Council ordered observation, not attack. "This will be seen as an act of war. They invaded our territory." Vexenar snapped, "I am protecting our borders." On the Defender, Diana detected a power surge from the outpost. "Commander, they're charging some kind of large weapon." "Evasive maneuvers," ordered Lisa. "Get a message to Captain Grant we all need to move out of range." But before they could act, a strange thing happened. The outpost lights flickered, and the power reading dropped. "What just happened?" asked Lisa. Paul checked his readings. "It looks like their systems are failing, some kind of overload." In the alien outpost, alarms blared as screens went dark. "What's happening?" demanded Vexenar. A technician worked frantically at a console. "Something has infected our systems. Our defense grid is shutting down." Vexenar turned to Zcatril with suspicion. "Did you do this?" "I was with you the entire time," Zcatril replied calmly. The truth was that Samantha had done more than just download data during their escape. She had also uploaded a simple computer virus, a modified version of programs she used to test systems on Earth. The alien technology was advanced, but it still operated on basic principles of energy and information flow. With the alien defenses down, the Defender was able to dock with Alan and Samantha's ship. Soon, the reunited crew was speeding away from the outpost. "The data you recovered is incredible," Diana told Samantha as they examined it in the Defenders. "Lab, this changes everything we know about the universe." Alan turned to Lisa. "How soon can we get back to Earth? They need to know what's out here." "We've sent a message ahead," Lisa replied. "But at top speed, we're still 3 days from home." Back on Earth, the United Earth Defense Initiative was taking shape. Director Frank Walsh addressed representatives from every nation. "We don't know if these aliens are friendly or hostile," he said, "but we need to be prepared either way." The Assembly agreed to pool resources and technology. For the first time in history, Earth was truly united by a common purpose. In his laboratory, Chief Scientist Eric Peterson worked with a team of linguists and computer experts. They had received the initial data transmission from the Defender. "The alien language has patterns," Eric explained to his team. "It's complex, but I think we can create a translation program." A young programmer named Olivia Wright raised her hand. "I've been analyzing the symbols. There are mathematical constants embedded in their language. If we use those as a starting point." Eric nodded eagerly. "Yes, mathematics is universal." "Good thinking, Olivia." On the Galactic Council homeworld, an emergency meeting had been called. Vexenar had reported the incident, claiming the humans had attacked without provocation. "These humans are dangerous," he insisted. "They hacked our systems and disabled our ships with primitive technology. Imagine what they could do with access to our advanced knowledge." Several council members murmured in concern. Grawl, the military advisor, spoke up. "I recommend we establish a quarantine zone around their solar system. No species should be allowed to contact them." But one council member wasn't present. Zcatril had sent a private message saying he was pursuing critical research related to humans. In his private laboratory, Zcatril reviewed everything known about human history. Something had been bothering him, and now he understood what it was. "Computer, compare the evolutionary history of council species with humans," he instructed. The results confirmed his theory. Unlike the council species, who had evolved in relatively stable environments, humans had developed on a planet with extreme variations in climate, geography, and conditions. "They evolved on what we would consider a death world," Zcatril muttered to himself. "Constant adaptation was necessary for survival." This explains so much about human behavior, their creativity, their ability to solve problems in unexpected ways, their resilience in the face of challenges. Stroud composed an urgent message to the council, but before he could send it, he received news that chilled his scales. The council had approved a quarantine, and the Drakari battle fleet was already on its way to human space. As the Defender approached Earth, they detected unusual activity at the edge of the solar system. "Multiple large ships have entered the system," reported Paul. "Configuration unknown," Lisa frowned. "Are they following us from the outpost?" "No," said Diana, studying her readings. "These are much bigger, a fleet." Alan looked at the data with growing concern. "They're positioning themselves around the solar system, like they're setting up a blockade." Samantha met his eyes, or a cage. On Earth, the defense systems that had been hastily assembled detected the alien fleet. Across the planet, people looked to the sky with a mix of fear and wonder. Admiral Heather Bradley, newly appointed head of Earth's Combined Space Forces, addressed the United Earth Defense Initiative. "We have limited options," she said honestly. "Their technology is beyond ours. But we will not surrender our freedom without a fight." Frank Walsh stood beside her. "We've always risen to challenges. This is humanity's greatest test, but I believe in our ability to face it." As the Defender raced toward Earth and the alien fleet moved to intercept them, no one realized that the true advantage of humanity wasn't in their weapons or ships. It was in their minds shaped by millions of years of overcoming impossible odds on a world that had never made survival easy. The Defender raced toward Earth with the alien fleet closing in behind them. On the bridge, Commander Lisa Jones made a difficult decision. "We can't outrun them," she said. "We need to stand and fight to give Earth time to prepare." "Captain." Alan Grant nodded. "The data we collected shows their ships have a weakness. Their main energy conduits are poorly shielded." "If we can hit those conduits," added Samantha Miller, "we might disable them without destroying the ships." Lisa turned to Paul Martinez. "Target those areas. Precise shots only." The Defender turned to face the approaching Drakari vessels. Though outnumbered, the human ship moved with surprising agility. They fired carefully aimed shots at the lead ships, hitting the vulnerable areas Alan had identified. Two of the alien vessels drifted powerless in space. The others slowed their approach, suddenly cautious. "It worked," said Diana Kelly, looking at her monitor. "They're hanging back, reassessing." "That gives us the window we need," said Lisa. "Maximum speed to Earth." On Earth, Admiral Heather Bradley watched the space battle through satellite feeds. She turned to her officers. "Prepare all available ships. We need to support the Defender." Earth's combined fleet was small compared to the alien armada, but each ship carried weapons hastily modified based on the data sent ahead by the Defender. Frank Walsh entered the command center with Chief Scientist Eric Peterson. "We've made a breakthrough with the translation program," Eric announced. "We can now communicate with them directly." "Good," said Heather, "because I want to talk before we fight." In his laboratory on the Council homeworld, Z. Cattrall worked frantically to compile his research. The evidence was clear. Humans weren't naturally aggressive conquerors, as Vexenar claimed. They were survivors shaped by a harsh world to adapt and overcome challenges. He sent his findings to the Council with an urgent request. "Stop the quarantine. Fleet, humans are not what we think they are." But his message arrived too late. The Council had already authorized Commander Vexenar to establish the quarantine by any means necessary. The Defender reached Earth's orbit just as the Planetary Defense Fleet launched. Admiral Bradley hailed them from her flagship. "Glad to see you made it home," she told Lisa. "What are we facing?" "They call themselves the Galactic Council," explained Alan, who had transferred to the Admiral's ship with Samantha. "They've been watching us for years." "They think we're dangerous, aren't we?" asked the Admiral with a small smile. "Not in the way they believe," said Samantha. "They fear our expansion, but they don't understand us." The Earth fleet formed a defensive line as the alien armada approached. Admiral Bradley opened a channel using the new translation program. "This is Admiral Heather Bradley of Earth. We request peaceful communication." After a moment, a response came. The aliens appeared on screen. Commander Vexenar with his red skin and sharp teeth. This is Commander Vexenar of the Galactic Council. Your system is now under quarantine. No ships will be permitted to leave. We have the right to travel our own solar system, replied Heather firmly. You have shown aggression and technological theft, said Vexenar. The Council has determined you are a threat. The conversation was getting nowhere. Then, surprisingly, another alien appeared on the screen beside Vexenar. It was Z-Catril. Humans, said Z-Catril, I have studied your species. I believe there has been a misunderstanding. Vexenar growled. This is not authorized, Representative. Stral ignored him. Humans, I wish to speak with your leaders directly. There is much we can learn from each other. Frank Walsh stepped forward. We welcome dialogue. But first, your fleet must stand down. Before Vexenar could respond, a new signal interrupted them. It was the full Galactic Council calling from their homeworld. The Council has reviewed Representative Z-Catril's research, announced the lead council member. We wish to reconsider our approach to humans. Vexenar looked shocked. But they hacked our systems. They disabled our ships. They defended themselves, corrected Z-Catril. After you captured their people without provocation. The council leader spoke again. Commander Vexenar, you are ordered to stand down. No quarantine will be established. At this time, the tension in Earth's command center eased slightly. Admiral Bradley exchanged glances with Frank Walsh. This was an unexpected development. 2 days later, a historic meeting took place. Director Frank Walsh and scientist Olivia Wright represented Earth, Z-Catril, and 2 other council members represented the galactic community. We have studied your history, said Z-Catril. Your planet is what we would call a death world: extreme temperatures, natural disasters, varied environments. Yet you thrived. We had to adapt, replied Olivia. It's in our nature. That is precisely what makes humans unique, said Z-Catril. The council species evolved in stable environments. We developed technology but lost adaptability. Frank leaned forward. Are you saying our greatest strength is that we evolved on a difficult planet? Yes, your brains developed to solve problems creatively. You see solutions where we see only obstacles. The Earth representative shared a surprised look. This was not the conversation they had expected. We detected your civilization years ago, continued Z-Catril, but we misjudged you. We saw your rapid expansion as aggression rather than natural curiosity. And now, asked Frank, now we propose an alliance, said Z-Catril. The galaxy faces threats that even the Council has failed to solve. The Void Collective expands at the edge of known space, consuming all in its path. You need our help, realized Olivia. We need your perspective, corrected Z-Catril. Your unique way of thinking. A treaty was drafted. Humans would join the galactic community not as subjects but as equals. Earth would share its adaptability and creativity while the Council would share advanced technology. 6 months later, human specialists were scattered throughout Council space. On dozens of worlds, problems that had stumped alien scientists for centuries found solutions through human ingenuity. On Earth, alien technology transformed society. Clean energy, advanced medicine, and faster-than-light travel became reality within years rather than centuries. In a new joint research facility orbiting Jupiter, Z-Catril worked alongside Olivia Wright. They studied the data coming in from the first human explorers venturing beyond Council space. They've already mapped regions we thought impossible to navigate, said Z-Catril with admiration. Olivia smiled. That's what humans do. We explore, we adapt, we overcome. Z-Catril's scales brightened with what humans had learned was his species' version of a smile. The Council thought they were being cautious by watching humans from afar. Now I realize we should have been preparing ourselves. For what? Asked Olivia. For the arrival of humans on the galactic stage, replied Z-Catril. The universe had no idea what was coming.